What's up, everyone? So finally got the new rods in after a little bit of a wait. So I went with the Molnar Technologies rods, and these rods are their power adder rods, as you can see here on the side of the box, which is supposed to be stronger than the standard Molnar rod. And as I said before, I was going to do a comparison of the old K1 rods that I bought compared to the Molnar rods. So this is the standard H-beam K1 rod, and this is the Molnar H-beam power adder rod. So with the rods side by side right here, I couldn't really tell any difference. They look almost identical. They both have ARP 2000 rod bolts. There in the K1, and then the Molnar Technologies ARP 2000s in the Molnar rods. But when you flip these rods over and look at them on the side of the rod, on the beam here, is where you see the difference. So it might be kind of hard to tell on the phone, but the Molnar rod is noticeably thicker on the beam here and on these parts of the beam as well. And I brought this precision measuring tool out to show you guys what I mean. And before I start this, I want to say I'm not a machinist. I'm not good at talking in measurements or anything like that, so I'm going to do the best I can. You guys can correct me in the comments and call me dumb, whatever. So here we go. So if I get the caliper here and I measure and this is hard to do with the phone. So, yeah. This is a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna set this thing up on the tripod and retry this. Okay, here we go. So I got the phone set up on the tripod so I can work a little bit easier with my hands and get these measurements. So here, this is the K1 series rod. This is the old rods. So I'll measure the thickness of the beam here. So there the measurement is, that would be 0.59 of an inch. I know there's another way to say that, and I'm having a brain fart right now, so I'm just going to call that 0.59. So measuring the same part, and also picking up this K1 rod, the K1, or not the K1, the Molnar Technologies power adder rod, it is a little bit heavier because of the thickness of the rod, and you could tell it picking it up. So the K1 rod was 0.59, so let's see what this Molnar Technologies rod measures out to on the beam here. So here we have 0.68. So almost 0.1 thicker on the beam. Then that's where a lot of the extra strength of this power adder rod is. And then also I'll measure this portion of the beam here. This is the Molnar Technologies rod, and that would be 0.11 on that part. Going to the K1 rod, it is, as you can see, that's about 0.09. It's right at 0.09. Now that I took it off, it moved. But it was right at 0.09. So there's clearly more thickness there as well. So when you look at the rods from this angle, really not a lot of difference. You can tell there's a little bit of difference in weight. And then when you look at the rods from this angle, you can see where the Molnar power adder H-beam is much thicker than the standard K1 H-beam rod. So next step is to get these rods and my rotating assembly off to the machine shop so I can get everything rebalanced with these heavier rods. And then from that point on, I will be able to start assembling the engine. And I know I had a couple of comments of people asking me to do a video of assembly of the engine, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to document every step that I take in the assembly so that some of you guys can see what has to happen and maybe give you a little bit of confidence on building your own engine. So that's all I got for now. Hopefully the next time I see you guys, I'll be getting ready to assemble this thing.